Hello, everybody. You can call me Hunch. Everything I say is not financial advice. Now that that's out of the way, this is a case study on Bitcoin DeFi for this bull run. That's been my main thesis. That's all I talk about. I also talk about memes, right? Just to reiterate, I have a thesis. In that thesis is Bitcoin DeFi only, right? With some L1, L2 action, right? Stacks, right? Has all the Bitcoin DeFi under it. BVM, all the Bitcoin DeFi gaming, everything under it. Then you got DIKO, you got Alex, you got Bitflow, you got Valar. Some of those aren't out yet, right? You got ORNJ, you got Sovereign. All those things are part of my thesis, okay? Now, if I add something or take it away, I'll be very explicit. Like I added BVM. Now, that was the last one I added, right? So I'm less sure about it. So if you are listening to me and developing a thesis based on what I say, please be careful. You shouldn't be doing that anyway, but that's the last one I added. We've been right so far. We've done well. I'm going to show you why we've done well in this video, but I also am going to be talking about memes. I think memes, I feel like it's absolutely necessary to talk about memes because those memes will bring people to Bitcoin DeFi, right? If we can advocate for them. It's been shown that memes are associated with the success of a chain, but also you can funnel those gains into Bitcoin DeFi, real lasting projects that will continue on for generational WELSH. Okay, so that's my thesis. Let's get into it. Now, I talked last video, all these drawings, I rarely erase my drawings, so these have been here for a while. I've said this is an ascending wedge. Right, we kind of broke down when Bitcoin did, but boom, we popped back up. So not perfect, but this is stacks. Okay, probably the most bullish coin, maybe up there. Solana might be more bullish, who knows? But the most bullish coin in all of crypto right now, in my opinion. Right, you've got Franklin Templeton publishing an article on the Nakamoto upgrade, one of the biggest financial, what do you call it? Companies or investment banks or whatever they are in the world, right? Now, everyone knows BlackRock is deploying on Ethereum. I think that's a wrong choice. I think Ethereum is going to become completely captured because it's proof of stake. I think there's going to be a competition in the free market to win over people's money, their investments, right? And it would be smart, I think, if they embraced kind of the ideology behind crypto and Bitcoin, which is decentralization. So I think some are going to pick Ethereum, some are going to pick stacks, some are going to pick whatever. I also want to say that real world asset narrative, although it may pump during this cycle, I don't doubt that. I think it's complete nonsense. I think it's garbage. Right? Real world assets being deployed on something like stacks or an L1 like Solana is the chain, right? You don't need a separate chain for that. Now you can have a company, right, that does that, maybe like Ondo Finance, that does real world assets, right? But they don't need their own chain, certainly. So that's my thoughts on that. But insanely bullish for stacks, right? And then big accounts, right? This guy's got 5,000 followers. Huge accounts are embracing stacks, right? As a reminder of how big market caps can get. Last cycle, Cardano went from 5 billion to 50 billion. In less than 5 months, and it hit an all-time high of almost 100 billion. Right, so 50 billion is what from here, like a 10, at least over a 10x, right? Because it's at 4 billion or something like that, 4 to 5 billion. So 100 billion would be a 20x or a 25x, right? That would make everybody generational WELSH in and of itself. I mean, I think it's hard to look elsewhere. Everyone thinks this belongs in the top 10. It's definitely the premier L2 or 1.5 or a side chain or whatever you want to call it on top of Bitcoin, right? Maximum decentralization is the effort there. To me, definitely the premier chain this bull run. Now, let's talk about memes, okay? I tweeted this today. Knock, knock. Who's there? Nothing, okay? Now, I don't know why I'm so obsessed with this. I just feel like it's like the first meme coin on Bitcoin, right? Some will say WELSH is the first dog. Like, I like WELSH, right? But the first meme, right, I mean, it's historic. You had to unwrap it, right? It got airdropped to a bunch of people, right? Let's see if we can see that. Yeah, like, it got airdropped to this guy, wrapped nothing, right? So, absolutely, I think it's still the most hilarious meme. And like I said, memes bring people to the chain, right? Which is important for our thesis. So I think it's important just from a theoretical standpoint that we embrace all the memes, right? Whether it's Leo, WELSH, and certainly whether it's debatable or not, the first meme on Bitcoin, especially since it's so funny, is nothing a pure representation of fiat, in my opinion. I think it's hilarious. Now, I tweeted this last night. It's already got 4,400 views. I said the most bullish pre-parabola in crypto. I present to you not on stacks, higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low. Nothing seems more bullish in my opinion. I think it's like on a trajectory to 100 million plus. I could be wrong, right? It's just a meme. This is definitely not part of a theoretical portfolio, but just from like an upside potential, it just seems like nothing has the most upside, which is highly ironic, which makes it kind of valuable in crypto, in my opinion. I just like, I cannot get away from this thing. And like when I obsess about things, right? Like if you're new here, let me explain something to you. I've been talking about stacks for 3 years. Like I've had to look like an idiot. I've had to be dumb, right? So when I bring something up and I say something, it's not just because I'm joking around. Either whether that's if I'm talking about a bear market or a sideways chop for 6 months, which I think is very possible right now, even if that doesn't happen and we go back to all-time highs, I don't just say things and harp on them because I think they can't happen. I say things because like I really think about things. Maybe I got OCD. Well, I think my mom had OCD. I don't know. But like I obsess over things that I find highly interesting. Now, I'm just a guy on the internet. I feel like I'm pretty smart, right? I've got like a doctorate in education level. Like I'm pretty smart, but like when I obsess about things, it's not because I'm like joking around, even though I use humor to present my ideas. It's because I think these things actually have a high probability of happening, right? And to me, nothing seems like it could be the next generational Welsh. So I say that here, right? All the Welshies abandoned me when I started calling not the greatest meme of our generation. And I do think it is. Like, nothing is the greatest meme. There's so many jokes, like, nothing else matters. What was it all for? Nothing. I mean, like, the play on words, the poetry. I mean, I feel like I have to harp on this. So, like, what do they say? Like, you have to hear something 7 different ways for you finally to click it. I mean, that is the point of my channel here. Like, I will beat this into your head. Not so you do it, but whether you come across any concept, right, to maybe look at it from different angles and so on and so forth, right? It would be generationally ironic if it made everyone who stayed generational Welsh. So another point of alpha, a story. Volume's just over double for Welsh on the daily, yet cap is over 20 times. Go ahead and follow me, but this alpha is so good it hurts. Now, there's other things here, like 7-day volume is 7 million. 7-day volume for NOT is 1.62 million, right? But that's still what, a 6x above. So six times the $5 million market cap for now is still what, 30 million, right? Well below where it should be, right? In term, if you compare the volumes to the volume ratio for Welsh, right? I mean, if volume is only 6 times behind, right, you can do some math and figure out where not. Just from a 7-day volume perspective, I don't know that exact number. I'm not going to calculate it right now. To me, NOT is way undervalued, and especially because if you've been watching Twitter, there was a guy with 67,000 followers who tweeted about NOT. I do think it's going to be easy for tons of users just to come in and look at this meme and go like, oh, this is the first meme, boom, like click, 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 like it. To me, that is like the normie brain on steroids, okay? So now I just want to reiterate, like my whole thesis here about Bitcoin DeFi is, look, Naval tweeted this. Lots of people trying to repackage AI as a token and dump it on the masses. Like, right. I mean, AI, as fast as it's developing, right, to merge crypto and AI that fast and have this huge product that they're going to sell to the masses and it's going to have huge use cases, right? Like, even though I like Palm AI, I like GPU that pumped like 500x or 100x or whatever. Right. I mean, I think those are broken business models at this point. They're really just trying to sell you a token. Now, that doesn't mean you can't invest in them and make theoretical gains. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, like, I think it's much harder to not be focused, in my opinion, but do as you must. I mean, I think you can make astounding gains. Like, you can make millions in Solana meme coins. You can make millions in AI. To me, it's a much harder strategy, right? Just like if you're using your IQ and brains, like to be focused on Bitcoin DeFi seems like a brilliant use case on the most well-known chain, on the most decentralized chain, right? Like if you just go through the steps of logic, it doesn't make sense to be doing anything else unless you're highly intelligent and you're sitting on the computer for long periods of time studying these patterns, understanding how to flip the memes. Whatever it is, you can do it, but you need to dedicate a lot of resources to that. Bitcoin DeFi, you don't need that much brain power. You literally can set it and forget it and just know, like, this is a use case. I know this is a use case. It's going to go somewhere. Now, I tweeted this about TRAC the other day. I said, really think people fading TRAC and tap at the exact wrong time. Runes remind me of pipe. Hype and fade away. Pipe is under TRAC, remember. So I'm even criticizing that. Tap going to change the game, right? Now, TRAC has been going down and sideways for a while. It's still in this channel. You know, could it go to zero? Sure. I just think the quality here, right, with the VCs pumping in money into it, right, with Benny the Dev, you had the Karma coin drop, you had the Sora token that's going on exchanges. Then you had another drop if you got the Karma card, like a media token, right? And if you look at, you know, the block space, like I believe, and I could be wrong because some of my sources are on Twitter and so on and so forth, right? So you have to take that with a grain of salt. The majority of the block space is just TRAC indexed activity, right? So to me, like, this is where, what did Warren Buffett once say? Like, the price is what you pay for something. The value is what you're getting. So, like, the value to price ratio, you know, that could be wrong, whatever the quote is. To this seems like, to me, like, if we are going to stay in a bull run, like the best in the market right now. Now, that's just what I think. Could I be wrong? Hands down, I could be wrong. Let's see how that goes. Now, ORNJ. You know, if you've been watching this channel for a while, I'm a huge fan of ORNJ. I've criticized them a little bit, like, you know, where's the wallet? You know, what's going on in the GitHub? They seem to have addressed some of those issues, but I still am a little hesitant. It is part of the theoretical portfolio, though. Now, I said in the past videos, you know, if you were to drop one, it would be more like Sovereign and ORNJ because their products are still in development. That doesn't mean I did drop them. I was just trying to give you a different perspective, right? You should be more in Stacks. You should be more in DIKO. Generally, those things have been working out well, right? Stacks is pumping to all-time highs. It's consolidating. It's pumping to all-time highs. So those ideas have been good. Not abandoning this project. I think having a wallet with a coin is a natural fit for this. I think it's absolutely fabulous. I wish Xverse would have a coin that you could stake for dividends, so on and so forth. To me, absolutely bullish if they can continue to get partnerships. I just want to see the product. Love the idea, though. Absolutely not abandoning this in terms of a theoretical portfolio. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is Ordinals. I think big people, when we really start to have blow-off tops and massive gains in AI or whatever it is, people are going to come to Ordinals. Now, a lot of people are saying, you know, Pizza Ninjas is not it. I disagree. I continue to think that Pizza Ninjas is going to be a huge brand at some point. They continue to have a steady up in sales, right? The floors, I think, are going to get bought up when retail starts coming back. Now, there's other ones that are good too, and this one may go to zero, right? There's also the NAT, right, or the DMT collections, which I think are going to do well, right? If you don't know what DMT is, you go to Magic Eden. They're the ones that came up with NatCats, right? So this was the first collection. The floor price on this is crazy, right? Like $5,000 or whatever it is, $4,000, $3,000, right? And this is based off data versus digital matter theory, right? So I think there's different ways to play this, right? You know, puppets seem to be pumping. I don't really understand this puppet thing. I mean, it's kind of crazy because if you look at Le Puppets, which is the female versions, I mean, these things, like, and, you know, shout out to the late, like, I don't like these puppets either, and they seem to be pumping, but these things are, like, kind of terrifying, man. Like, look at this. Look, can we even, like, look at this. She's kind of, like, gonna kick my butt, man. Like, but, I mean, the ladies do need representation. The men need representation. So if you know, these have to pump, so be it. I mean, it's kind of disappointing that puppets are a huge Ordinals collection. But you know what? Here we are. Let's do it. But to me, you know, both the males and the females, very terrifying. In some, I mean, this guy's got a knife in his head. Very sinister smiles. I mean, this guy looks like he can murder you in your sleep. But, you know, it is what it is. So I think you need to be paying attention to Ordinals for the long run. Maybe, right, if we have a massive run-up in a sector, like if you're in AI or you're in Bitcoin DeFi, you take some of those and you go into Ordinals. I like Pizza Ninjas. I like some of the other ones. You know, if you want to go big, you know, they got Ordinal Maxi Biz. They got Quantum Cats. You know, everyone hates on quantum cats. Oh yeah, here's the karma cards if you didn't know, which were airdropped, right? I should have done that. Too lazy, don't really care that much. You know, there's lots of good things here, right? Where's Ordinal Mag, right? You could buy an Node Monk if you have insane gains. So definitely a lot at play here. So anyway, you could call me hunch. I got a hunch. My hunch is nothing. That's my hunch. So you can call me hunch.